And welcome everyone to Coalition League Week 7 here. This is the losers bracket, the fallen bracket. So we've got all the teams who got knocked out in the quarterfinals here. We'll be watching C2 versus Vengeful Reapers in this game. I'm Random Minion Caster, and alongside me for this game here is Furball, a special guest Furball here. So Furball, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Furball. I've been playing League since Season 3, and thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming by here.
What we're going to see here is actually we got Set up in the top lane, Mumu in the jungle. Prodaf wasn't working, so we're going to go through the champions here. Orianna in the mid lane, Ashe as the ADC, and Leona as the support. Aatrox top, and it looks like we're just actually going to standard 5-point here. No one's really trying to be doing anything too crazy with an invade. Kayn jungle, Ryze mid lane, Varus ADC, as well as Nautilus support.
Yeah, and these drops here, I'm really liking the drops from both teams here. We have seen Vengeful Reapers do really well with the Ryze before, the mobility that gives them around the map, and that's what they're going to take advantage of here, trying to get around places. And on the side of C2, they've got a really nice standard team fight composition. They've got the Amumu, the Orianna, so lots of AoE there with the Leona, and they've got really good engage from Ashe, because that Ryze can help often initiate or avoid fights, but with the long range enchanted crystal arrow there coming from the Ashe, it's going to be really hard to dodge those fights out. So definitely looking forward to that mid-game fight from both teams here.
Not to mention, Vengeful Reapers really looking to split push with those two TPs as well as the Ryze in the side lane later game. We all have horror stories of a Ryze just pushing into our Nexus and killing everything at 30 minutes.
Yeah, both teams opting to actually to go with the teleport this game. So non-combat summoners in both solo lanes here, they will be able to try and match at least those teleports. Though Ryze's ultimate means there's effectively a third teleport team-wide here for the side of Vengeful Reapers. And now Vengeful Reapers, also a team known for picking comfort pings and going for early game dominance. So I'm expecting to see them scale into the mid game ahead of C2, but the team fighting from C2 I expect should be absolutely massive in any open ground objective there, such as the Baron or Breaks.
Absolutely. And as you can see early in the game, Orianna's having a little bit of a push on the Ryze, who's typically a little weaker in the early game. Orianna with her superior range is going to give her a little bit of advantage in lane.
Yeah, so mid lane, as you said, we should expect the Orianna to have that early lead there. Ryze just wanting to scale to safety there, just farm up gold, get a couple of mana items under his belt before he can really get any good trades off there. And he is going with the phase rush, so that means that he'll have even less lane damage initially, but bot lane.
Okay, Nautilus coming in for a hook here, and then Varus coming with the poke. Nothing going on, but the Ashe is going to go to half health, and Aatrox actually going in for a little bit of a deep trade here with the W, but Umu's coming to follow up, and a Kayn with a lane gank. Umu gets the stun. He's gonna follow the Aatrox and get first blood for his team, and he's gonna follow the Kayn out right here, escort him out to his Earthly Coil, and that's a double kill for the Umumu. Maybe not the best person to get the double kill on, but certainly gonna take it nonetheless.
Yeah, as you said, if they could have gone that on the set, it would have been even bigger for them, because that 1v1 in the top lane is going to be a very isolated matchup, and it's very volatile too, so whoever gets a lead likely to keep it. But getting on the Amumu isn't the end of the world. That's going to speed Mohawk Gaming up a lot, and Amumu really comes online at level 6 with that Curse of the Sad Mummy, getting really good ganks off, and if he can accelerate the pace, he's already a level up from Macros, that will mean that he will be able to spread his lead across the other lanes as well. So definitely still a really good lead 2-0 for them.
Oh, and Amumu gets a stun onto the Ryze in mid lane, but Ryze just able to poke him out and force him out of the mid lane for him. Actually, another interesting I've been noticing as we've been talking is that Varus has got a corrupting potion. And I'm not an ADC main or anything, but typically you'd see a Doran Blade there. As I'm talking, Nautilus is going to get a Q onto Leona and just a little more poke from that Varus, whose mana is dipping pretty low.
Yeah, and that corrupting potion start on Varus ADC, it does happen once in a while. Usually when you know that you're going to be going into a lane where a lot of damage can come down, and he's facing an Ashe Leona. Ashe has a lot of poke in lane. One of the pokest ADCs, of course, you're running into Varus, who has even more poke than you. But that being said, Ashe does usually put down a lot of poke damage with her range and her volleys, and with a Leona there, you get caught by that, you're going to be eating a lot of damage, and you need to make sure you're topped up. And it actually synergizes extremely well with the poke from Varus. Corrupting Potion does apply some additional burn damage when it's healing you there. So definitely a good pickup from Imagines.
Oh, and Amumu trying to fight Kane in his jungle. Level 5, he's got the advantage, and he's just going to burn him down with his W passive. And it looks like Kane's going to get a little bit of help from Ryze, so just to usher him out from his jungle. But Amumu's caught on the wrong side here, trying to finish off the Kane, but the flash comes out, and he's able to live, burning down just slightly, but he's going to walk out. And here's the ward. Nautilus is able to Q in on the Leona, but the Sheev just flashes and gets to the cone and gets right out of there.
And that's absolutely huge for the side of C2 there. Mohawk playing that almost perfectly, almost getting the kill on Macros as well. Macros had to burn his own flash despite them being the ones on the aggressive. And that was a 4v3 where nobody goes down. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a win for C2 because an Amumu should not be invading. If the Amumu invades, gets caught, and walks out, that's a win.
Yeah, and obviously he's disturbing, the possibility of Kane going up to the top side, which he probably wants to do to help out that Aatrox in his lane.
Yeah, and that again, just the volatile nature of that top lane right now. Any help that you can get to swing it one way or the other is huge because we can see XX Wolf already getting a hit.
Yeah, and it looked like Set's just going to go try for the kill. The W from the Aatrox is going to save him, though, and he's just going to walk right out of there. Incredible damage. He did not respect that TP play from the Set, who's got a level up on him and quite a few more items. Looks like Aatrox is going to have a really bad back here.
Yeah, the teleports were already used. Bot lane, a lot of action going down as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like the Nautilus was actually able to queue in there and start an engage, but they weren't able to follow up from because the Leona stun just was able to get her Ashe out to safety.
Action on both sides.
Yeah, Ryze is actually roaming up to the top side, and the Aatrox but there's a flash out from the Set, and the Ryze just got incredible flying power. Here comes the Aatrox, and the third Q, but the Set uses his ult to kind of get away, but the Kane's here, and it's just dead to rights here. 3 members on one guy ain't gonna make it out.
Yeah, and that's that mobility of Ryze we were talking about. He had level 6, he got his ultimate available and instantly went to top lane right away. He's not enjoying the lane against the Orianna, but he can go and influence other lanes instead, and that's
absolutely, that's what you want from your Ryze.
Yep, and that's what they did. They managed to get themselves a lead there, and that helps neutralize the advantage that XX Wolf had in that early game. But we do see a Mohawk now just going to try and pick up a Drake, it looks like, or maybe some vision.
Absolutely. He's just kind of dirtling around the river, trying to find what he can. He has no jungle camps right now, so he's just looking on the map for objectives.
Yeah, and they do have to sort of focus a little bit more on objectives this game for both teams, but because that's where a lot of fights are going to be breaking up. C2 is going to want to fight in those open areas, in those places where they can get all their ultimate off. Choke points would work well for them as well, but basically they want to find those areas where they can get the full 5v5s in the mid lane.
It looks like, yeah, Orianna's just forcing Ryze out of lane like she does. This the powerful poke she has from her Q and her W changing where her ball is. It's just zone control, absolutely mastery. And it looks like Set's trying to get in here against the Aatrox, but he's not going to take that too kindly as he has his passive proc, even getting a lot of healing out there.
Yeah, and that was a 1v1 up there, but on the other hand, they do manage to pick up Drake for themselves here on the side of C2. And yeah, so we're just seeing the objective focus, and it's working really well for C2 here. Now, in terms of just the laning, we are seeing Syraken get poked down really low, but I actually do expect to see them winning this bot lane here for themselves. That's a Leona into Nautilus, and we've seen throughout the league that Nautiluses tend not to do too well into Leona, and Ashe Leona at level 6 is one of the biggest hard engage bot lanes. They can do a ton of damage, and that amount of CC could definitely kill a Varus before he has any chance to respawn, but the pull coming up from Imagines is keeping them low enough that they don't want to take that engage quite yet.
He's incredibly low. Ashe just sitting at about a 1/6 of his health, and here's an ult actually from the Orianna trying to make the Ryze back off. That's a really powerful ultimate, just trying to force him out of lane. And Mumu's going really into the Kane, who's level 5. He did no business being in River when he's so low. I just don't know what to say. And we also got another trade kill for the Varus, probably just an empowered W killing that Ashe, and they're just going to start up the Rift Herald here.
Yeah, that was really good positioning from XX Wolf. He came around from behind, got the blast cone there to get into a position where Macros couldn't do anything. And that's going to be really rough for Vengeful Reapers because Macros is now 2 levels down from Mohawk. And normally you expect the Kayn to win these one-on-ones. You expect the Kayn to be hunting the Amumu. But when you're 2 levels up as the Amumu, suddenly the tables are turned. And Amumu is the one looking to try and find those fights on Macros. And in the bot lane, you know, I was just saying I expect an Ashe Leona to win the lane. But Imagine's and JW are doing a great job. Imagine's getting a lot of poke down. Managed to get Syraken so low that he just managed to burst Syraken under turret there.
Absolutely. And
a bit of a disconnect here on the side of C2 from Syraken, so we'll be able to reconnect. It looks like they're back, so they just
looks like it looks like the Kayn is going heavily in, even though he's still low. But the Amumu is super low from prior engagements in mid, and he's getting to get a Q on, but he has no ult to get out to safety, and that's just that you just gotta farm, Kayn. You just gotta farm. And it looks like Kraken is back, but he's going to face check into a Nautilus and a Varus, and he's just going to be dead to rights. Ulti going down from the Nautilus for that.
Yeah, that a very unfortunate face check. I mean, and you wouldn't expect normally. You're just leaving your base. That was literally the first push up. All the turrets are still standing, so it's not like you expect to walk into 2 people, a Nautilus and a Nautilus and a Varus, waiting for you.
You go into your red buff, you don't expect 11 minutes in, you're going to face check a Nautilus and a Varus.
Exactly. I mean, you knew that they were nearby, but still, Kayn just went down there. And speaking of the Kayn, that was a beautiful Curse of the Sad Mummy from Amumu there to lock Macros down. And that's going to put Macros even further behind. He's 3 levels behind now. There's going to be absolutely no contesting any objectives for the next little while. And on the side of Vengeful Reapers, they need to buy time to let Macros skill back into the game right now, because they aren't going to be winning any fights where you got 3 or 4.
And it looks like a Leona ult is going to come out here, but the flash out from the Varus is going to secure him his life. And he's going to get Q straight onto 2 members of the enemy team. And Nautilus is going to burn down here from the Leona, and the Ashe damage is just too much. All coming out to stun the Varus, but the Rise ult is coming in to secure maybe a response. But the Leona's too tanky. He cannot get to her. The Varus is going to... I'm sorry, the Ashe is going to burn him down, and that's a triple kill for the Ashe.
That was...
It looks like we're also getting engaged up here from the set, but he's just going to back out after an E. But looks like the Aatrox actually wants this. He's going to go ahead and ult, but he gets the flash out from the set and they back off.
Yeah, good flash from XX Wolf to keep him alive. And in that bot lane, all that action there was really questionable play from the side of Vengeful Reapers, and great play from Syraken and Spenlow. They knew they could go in for that bot lane right away because they saw that the Varus ultimate had been used prior on the kill for Syraken. So Syraken goes to lane knowing they have the ultimate advantage, take advantage of doing that. And True Hero, the Rise ult, you know, I'm not sure he wanted to take that in by the end of it, because you know you're serving yourself up on a silver platter 1v2.
It looks like the Nautilus is really aggro for this Ashe, and she's going to burn out immediately just from the Q damage from the Varus. And it looks like Leona's just going to be able to walk out here because of the Amumu is just standing right by. But it does look like the Kayn and the Rise are roaming down a little bit to try to secure some footing for that dragon that's coming up in a few seconds.
Yeah, both bot laners here really aggressive, overstaying really their welcomes. They get the fight, they win the fight, they're low on health, and then they stay. And that means that they don't have the ultimate, they're low on health when the other bot lane duel comes back.
And it looks like the set here is actually just going to kill the Aatrox out of nowhere. Ult combo plus a W just means Aatrox has no recourse but to just get up his life. And that just lets the red team here just get up. And the steal from the Amumu, great Curse of the Sad Mummy, as he's just going to lose his life here. But the Orianna comes in, and she's actually able to get 2 members with that ult, and she gets to clean up 3. Double kill for the Orianna. The Amumu played that so well.
My goodness, there's so much action going on. The spectator view is confused as to where to look, starting with that solo kill in the top lane by XX Wolf. That came out of nowhere. I saw the trade going down, but I wasn't expecting a kill.
Like Aatrox wants a little bit of revenge here. He's gonna be chasing onto the set, but it looks like we got more action here. Bot Ashe is gonna pick up that Varus very, very easily, who was just sitting in lane alone against a Leona Ashe, and then Aatrox just cleans up the set after he uses the backup for the TP. Just interesting calls here from Vengeful Esports.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's, again, the overstaying, right? XX Wolf gets the single kill onto Jason. doesn't back. And Jason has the teleport, gets back to lane, gets the kill. Bot lane, we see something similar here. They got the kills at the Dragon Pit. You know, Imagine survived most of it, decided to stay in lane, but he's alone against Leona Ashe, which we just said has one of the hardest engages. Instantly gets bursted down, instantly gets killed, and this is like, it's just snowballing C2's way right now. The more you brawl, the more in favor it goes for C2. They're the team that wants these big fights, that have the ultimates to sort of get these engages here. On the side of Vengeful Reapers, they want to get picks, and they need a skill. If they don't get the picks, if they don't have the better macro to out-rotate and win, they're not going to be winning these fights. And when you're this far behind across the lanes, like, you ain't going to be winning any fights at all. You take a look at the gold lead here. That's about a 7,500 gold lead for C2 at 15 minutes.
It's crazy. It's 12-5. They've basically been controlling every objective. With that Amumu steal on the Dragon, it just almost feels like it's unfair. Like, they're putting so much effort into these objectives, and then they're not even able to get anything out of it.
Yeah, normally you wouldn't be able to see an Amumu quite that far, that strong, but he's got a 4-level lead on that.
He's 4 levels ahead, and he's just gonna kill the Kayn. He did not care. He saw him immediately and was like, I could kill him. He's level 7. And Curse of the Sad Mummy just finishes him off, and they're gonna go on to the Rise here, who has no way to get out. And then Aatrox is just gonna fall to the Leona and the appears the Ashe, who get a lane swap here at the top.
Yeah, C2 opting to swap their bot lane to the top lane. They already got the bot lane turret. They've got all the outer turrets down now, but previously only the top lane one remaining. So they rotated their top lane up, and Herald should be spawning sometime soon as well. So having the bot lane in the area, there we go, the Herald now being taken. But with the bot lane in the top lane, sorry, the dual lane in the top, they have more support to take that Herald. And it looks like they're going to go for the inner turret because nobody responded to the fact that the bot lane's up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mohawk Gaming has been on fire this game. Being able to get successfully invade as a Mumu into a Kayn. It looks like the Nautilus ult is going to come out here from the side of Red Team. And they're going to actually use 2 ults with the Varus. And she's just dead to rights, catches out the Ashe, and she has no ability to get out of there.
Yeah, and that's a bit of split decision from C2 there. They greeted for the turret, and at the last second they chickened out, and I think they should have committed one way or the other. Either you back out early to avoid that collapse, or you stay and take the turret and sacrifice your life. But 1 for almost turret. Still pretty good.
It looks like Set actually wants to get in here onto this Rise, which he will be able to do with the E, and he just gets the flash out from the Rise. Will he flash follow? He doesn't quite have it up yet, but he does now. Will he just use his ult? But the Amumu just secures it. Mohawk Gaming, truly the MVP of C2 Gaming right now. And he pops the Rift Tail. They're going to get another tower here, it appears, on the side of C2 Gaming.
They're definitely going to get this turret, but Mohawk might be in a bad spot.
Yes, he's caught out a little bit behind enemy lines, but the Rift Tail is going to take tower aggro, and he's able to just walk out.
Yeah, but good rotate there from Imagines and Jadelian. Going to be able to keep that turret alive for a little while longer, so that Herald didn't quite have the impact they wanted, but macros says watch out.
Absolutely, and looks like, oh my god, while you blink and he is gone. Kayn is just, he is not having a good time. 1-6-1. This Kayn is so far below in levels, and it is just, he can't be standing out in the open like that.
Yeah, at this point, Macros needs to basically play like he's a minion. He needs to be aware. He shows up in a lane, champions are going to collapse in to go and farm him. So he needs to just play it safe for the next little while and try and get back in, because he's the bulk of his team's deficit, down about 3,000 plus gold right now for his team. So that gold difference there of about 8,000, almost half of it's just sitting on Macros alone. And so if he gets caught out one more time like that, I'm not sure that his team can hold on, because that's going to be a Baron like or Soul Drake.
Looks like Aatrox is just going to poke the Set here a little bit, kind of get him a little warm to maybe a little bit of a later game. Aatrox, who's actually scaling a little bit nicer now that he has that Black Cleaver as well as the Culling.
Yeah, the Execution Call will help stop some of the heal, but the nasty part about Set is a lot of his heal is just built into his health regeneration there, so if he walks away for a while, will heal up. They are going to be able to pick up, I believe, the 3rd Drake of the game, Inferno here.
Absolutely. You know, C2 just sitting pretty on 3 Drakes, and they're just going to engage in the Nautilus, who's caught clearing a ward. Even though he just heard Dragon was cleared, he's going to just stay there, and they're going to find the Varus as well, who's also caught up.
And with this, they're probably going to lose the inner, potentially the inhibitor as well. This is really bad for the side of Vengeful Reapers, and if I'm Vengeful Reapers right now, I'm thinking, you know, maybe this game is a lost cause at this point. We should be looking at game 2, and at, you know, I'm thinking maybe ban the Amumu next game because he's an absolute menace. Like you said, Mohawk MVP right now for C2.
Mohawk is just making play. He's diving dudes under turret. He's like, he knows where the cane is at all times. He's like, oh, he's probably in this bush. And he's just going to queue him and sad mummy him to death.
Yeah, and the other thing too to look at is that it's not really a compositional issue at this point. We haven't seen C2 play their composition the way it's supposed to be played. And now we might get a chance here.
It looks like Kane's going to go get a knock up onto the Leona, but then the second mummy's going to root everybody. Kane's going to ult onto the Leona, and he's going to go chase after the Ashe. And it looks like Nautilus is just trying to zone for his team, trying to get everyone out. But the Mumu is just going to queue onto the Aatrox and try to slow him down. Leona flash here. Here's the Leona ult. Here's a slow, but it looks like they might be able to walk out. But the Aatrox gets caught, and Leona gets fucking blown up from the Rise. Excuse my French there.
Yeah, it was looking so good for C2, and then Spenlo standing out a little bit too far there, gets completely bursted down. So there is still signs of life here from Vengeful Reapers. They're not going to go quietly into the night, at least not the rest of the team. Macros, level 9 right now, still having a super tough time, getting blown up real fast here. And they do manage to get themselves a turret as well, because that wasn't a full 5v5. That was like a 3 or 4v5 for the side of C2, and they traded 1-for-1 still.
Yeah, and it's such an extended fight. They hook around the top side of the jungle and then go back into their base. And it looks like his head actually here is looking for maybe a little bit of engagement on the Rise, but he's just gonna back out as soon as he sees the Nautilus. He's just got a CC to appeal for the Rise all day.
And if I'm on Vengeful Reapers right now, I'm looking at that last fight and I'm going to be thinking, we still have a chance.
Oh, and here it goes. Kane's gonna be going onto the Orianna, but he's gonna get blown up from the ult. And he did not have ult there, so he shouldn't even been base checking. It's just he's too weak to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the last fight showed a hint of a chance for Vengeful Reapers here because C2's not executing their AoE wombo combos cleanly, which means there's a chance. But then you've got Macros basically doing that, getting caught out. You need to not get caught out. That's step one. If you can't accomplish that, then this game is going to be quite over because it's definitely going to be a monumental uphill task here. And even a Baron steal at this point might not necessarily mean that they're back in the game. But yeah, like I was saying, for next game, if you're Vengeful Reapers, you got to look at this and decide, do you want to let through a teamfight composition again? Because C2's teamfight composition has issues. They have not executed it properly yet. But then again, if the Amumu is just so strong by himself, then you might need to ban that out. If Orianna, Wild Goose Chase,
it looks like they're going to be looking for the set here. Aatrox Q and then onto that, but then he's not even going to have a chance to W for the shield. Nautilus ult's going to secure and make sure the Leona's not going to be able to come in for the lead. But that's not going to stop the Amumu. He's able to get onto the back line, and it looks like the Kane's actually ulting the Amumu. Comes back in. Amumu's out alone, but he's on the back line. He's just going to kill the Varus. And it looks like now the front line's completely informed. Ult from the Orianna, and then a stun on the Rise. Double kill for the Ashe.
And that was absolutely massive for both teams. Vengeful Reapers played that really well initially, but Wild Goose Chase with the patient hold on that command shockwave there literally turned the game. And as you can see, Wild Goose Chase having some connection issues, still managed, despite the connection issues, to land that critical 4-man shockwave, which absolutely turned the fight there. Because that 4-man shockwave, we saw what happened with that. Just absolutely melted everybody. And from a losing fight, it suddenly became a winning fight.
How many Qs did that Amumu hit in that fight? I think he hit 3 consecutively, and he like weaved it in between people too. This Mohawk Gaming is on fire, 7-1-10 here. 177 CS. He is the most farm in the game as the tank.
Yeah, most farm and most gold here. He is above 10,000 gold at 2330. This might be some record in the Coalition League. I'm not sure. And we have Cyraken right behind him there, also above 10,000, only about 500 gold behind. So they've got massive leads. And if you look at the counterpart, Mohawk's almost doubled Macros' gold at this point, almost Flame Horizoned him as a jungler of all roles.
He's about to use 60 us off.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit more here, and the dragon.
And it looks like
up
okay, Amumu Q onto the Nautilus, and he's gonna ult the Ashe, and it looks like he's just gonna get blown up in the meantime. And here's the Rise. He's gonna be able, and he's not gonna be able to do anything.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, they need the coordinated fight. They need all 15 members there. They need a numbers advantage. The last fight started 5v4, and they still lost it. And with this, that's going to be Soul going over to the side of C2. And it's Infernal Soul, so if they weren't winning hard enough before, they certainly will be now.
Absolutely. Looks like they're just going to try to walk mid and try to clear that wave. Try to maybe oh, they actually just got pings over towards Baron, so it actually looks like they're just going to head over there and maybe get one like final push after that.
Yeah, and that's all. Like, honestly, they could probably push it now if they want to. This is just them being,
Absolutely.
playing by the books, making sure they secure this here.
The formalities.
Yep, and there's really no risk of a steal either from Macros. He's 4 levels down, so even if he runs in to try and smite steal this, it's not going to be really anything he can put down at all here. Their best hope is right there, a snipe, but they didn't get it.
Look for a few, but like, Kane's going to just walk in and give his life up. There was no way he was ever going to be able to smite that away, but it was a good try.
Yeah, and with this Z2, some of them looking like they might base here. I think if they do decide to base, that's rather superfluous. But yeah, no, good enough. They're just going to shove it.
They're just going to go mid.
Here. Yeah, they've got the Baron. That's all they need to do is just push it in at this point, clean it up. If they don't, they're just wasting time, and that's giving Vengeful Reapers a chance to actually get back into the game here. So I think we might be seeing the final push of the game right here.
Absolutely. It looks like they're just going to juxtaposition and try to get a little bit of a poke out here. It's a bit of a formality, you know. What tickles slightly. And they're going to get the inhib here and maybe just walk it down. No, they're going to walk to the right and try to push down the right inhibitor, I guess. And then we got the set pushing in the split lane on top, so they're going to try to 3 inhibitor them.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a safe textbook play. You get all the inhibitors down, you get double super minions, but it's unnecessary. They can just force a kill right here. They have the Leona Solar Flare, they have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they have the Amumu, plenty of engage options. They're just not choosing to do it, but top lane.
Yeah, Set's just going to walk this Ryze to his death, but he's going to back off just at the last moment. And they're actually going to walk towards clearing the bottom side jungle, which is a little bit interesting, and then they're going to have a back here.
Yeah, so that's going to be some Baron time there wasted on the side of C2. But frankly, it doesn't even matter. They're up 15,000 gold at this point. So they're still really far ahead. Can afford to, at this point, waste a bit of time. But they do have to be careful. They did break the inhibitor in the mid lane, which means there's going to be supers pushing down that mid lane there. And that's going to be free gold for the side of Vengeful Reapers to collect there. So they will be able to try and get themselves back into the game. And, you know, speaking of Vengeful Reapers, I do want to give props to Imagines here. 5-4-1 on that Varus on a team that's going 9-28 right now. 9-2-28, pardon me. And so that's, you know, Imagine's doing a really good job putting that damage down, trying to keep his team still in the game a little bit. And he is a threat that they still have to watch out for in team fights.
Absolutely. We saw earlier in the game when with his Qs, he was able to keep that Ashe poke down lane for pretty much the majority of laning phase up until the big scary Amumu came bot. In which case, it was their whole bets were off. And it looks like they still got a little bit of Baron buff, and they're just going to be pushing bot. And it's just 4-man, 4-man. Set's going to go back up to that top side, try to push in that tower, and it's just going to resume our little holding pattern here.
Yeah, but that top lane turret is going to be very low. So on the side of XX Wolf, this sort of stalemate isn't going to last for very long. The balance will be broken the moment XX Wolf can get those minions into the turret there. And the rest of the team, the Chato Crystal
here's the Ashe ult and the Leona ult to follow. Varus is just stunned for an eternity and just blows up the Varus. Set ult comes in and he's just able to take away the one person who might be able to get on the backline, which is the Kayn. And the Kayn's just going to get super low. Momo's going to kill him like he's been killing him all game. And he's going to take him out, Markros. Yeah, and here's the Leona onto the Ryze. He's going to root her up under turret. She's going to get to about half health and he's going to walk out. And it looks like there's a 2v5 just barreling down the turrets. And the Ryze just going to get aimed down by the Ashe here, and then maybe an ult, and then the Amumi Q onto the Aatrox. He's going to die, and here's the turrets, and that's the Nexus.
And that's game for C2. Congratulations to them for winning that extremely well. It ended up being quite a one-sided game after the poor the early game losses there, the double kill in the top lane, and Mohawk just snowballing that perfectly.
Absolutely. 9-1-14 on the 218 CS Amumu. The man was going full AP at the end. He was that ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he could afford to there, and it played out really well. The Thornmail is really all he needed, because True Hero on the Rise, not really able to scale, did get the Seraph's Embrace, the fully stacked Roa, but that's at 28 minutes, so Amumu didn't really need the magic resist yet, was about to build something, though, potentially a Banshee's Veil maybe coming out of there. We see the Megatron Cloak as well as the blasting one there. But we'll never know because it didn't even need to go that far. And again, like I said, if you're Vengeful Reapers, you basically, unfortunately, actually for the losers bracket, it's a best of one, so they don't get another shot at this game, unfortunately for themselves. And on the other side, though, for C2, this composition obviously working really well for them.
Absolutely, they're really enjoying that 4v1 style, having to have the top laner off in the side lane or being possibly the mid laner, and having a really strong 4-man unit who's got a lot of CC, allowing their carries to really put out the damage.
Yeah, so after this, we will be following C2 in their next game as they face off, I do believe it's DOV Nightfall they'll be playing against next in their next game. So we will be going into a short intermission break, and we'll see you guys soon.